Thank you, Jim. Actually, I'm not a very good speaker. I do the business like we are the family business. We are GGD trading. We've been export orchid for the last 45 years. This is my second generation. I'm gonna share my experience with you about what we do, and then after that we're gonna share some the detail of the bunch of the number of the growing areas about the orchid industry in overall. Okay. That is the company presentation for the video overall, what we do. So, DGD trading, starting from my dad, we had start exporting 45 years ago, and then first country that we do is Hong Kong. My dad opened the shop over there. So then that is how we start export orchids. And now we export more than 40 destinations around the world. So almost every continental, not Africa, not South America, but other than that, we do. So at the beginning of the business, we do only export flower, meaning we are not a farmer. And then last 15 or 17 years ago, when we have a flooding in Thailand, we start to do the farming as well. So the farming at the moment, about 10 years, we do about 200 right already. Those are the variety of the item that we export to the customer. And this is one of the farm that we growing. Mostly we growing the dendrobium. 80% of our production is growing dendrobium. 80% of my production that export is dendrobium, especially this variety, the Sonia. So this is one of the farm that we have. We have 4 or 5 locations, big or small. So for the Sonia farms, for the dendrobium, we have about 140 rice, 150 rice. We harvest every day. It's just more production, less production. We harvest every day. So we have normally 4 stages of the life of the plants in the farm. So we keep rotating young plants, old plants, medium plants, because the dendrobium plants we can keep them within 4 years because of this variety. After 4 years, the plants get too old, and then production is getting less and less. So that's why we rotate every 4 years. Those are the farm things. And then last 6 years, we start to do the Vanda farm. Vanda farm we do about like 12 right only at the starting. So this is we have about 10 color. Most of the company they don't do the Vanda farm because of the distance of the farm. This variety of the flower they need it very clean water, good quality water is the key. Not like dendrobiums. Dendrobium can be like they are more durable, but the Vanda in order to have like a clean leaf, beautiful flowers, so they need a clean water. That is a first step, like all agriculture that they require. And this is my packing house. The way that we do is at the moment is like still like a 60%, 70% we getting from contact farming, and then we 30% to 20% we get from our own farm, and then we come to the packing house every day. It's just less quantity or more quantity. Most of the shipment that we ship out is on the weekend. Basically, one day we may have like 4 or 5 destinations. So keep rotating either like every 2 times a week for one customer, or every week, or 20 days, 20 times per month. It's just frequency. You can see that on the right hand is the stem, in the middle is the stem, and then at the top is the garlands. And then on the right hand here is the garlands. These items we're using the blooms to making the garlands. We do about like 500,000 blooms a week. So this is one of the way that we do pack the blooms. Basically, this is like the customer who using the bloom is like their brands. They can be like a produce company, they can be like a hotel industry, they can be like food distributions, change. So they just have like we try to promote them to sell all the items that can produce from the orchids. Meaning like we do custom, this is only the blooms, and then we implement the blooms to making the garlands. This is a certain variety. Mostly, I think for the orchid industry, everyone know that we have a dendrobium is very strong variety, and then they have like 8 to 12 color tones. So they cover all the range. This is Mokola Alanda. So it's another variety. They have a high production during the summer. Like basically during the hot seasons, they have more production. They opposite from the dendrobium. Dendrobium, they have more production during the rainy seasons, like September to November. So it's some sort of like a balancing for us as an exporter, and then as a grower as well, to balance those variety in order to have a farm running smoothly. And then this item is very unique items. It's the Vanda. So those 4 color is the main color. It's just like more darker, more brighter, more spot. But it never have like the pure one color, straight color. So opposite to the Mokola. This is another items. I think or some of the Asian country, they know what it is, and then they know how to use them. This is we call garlands. So this item is for domestic in Thailand. So we using them like with the cut flowers to worship the Buddha. So basically, in the Thai culture, so they're making from the orchids, they're making from the jasmine, they're making from the dahlia is another variety of flowers. So this is very common if you go to the fresh market. Everywhere in Thailand, you will see it. And then religious day in Thailand is like every week they have one day. Every 2 weeks they have one big day. So every 3 months they have like one very big day for the Buddha. So basically it's become the culture for us here. And then for the company, we also participate in Florida in the year 2022, Netherlands. So the idea of this exhibition is we doing the promotion for the orchids. So it's just like some of the item or presentation or the idea how to use them, present to the customer or the end user how to promote the orchids. So those are examples like how we do it with the orchid. Orchid is a very have advantage and then disadvantage, meaning like if you are come from a country like Europe, during the winter it's very cold. Orchid is not good in the cold weather, especially Moccala or Vanda. So that is the disadvantage in terms of the, how to say, transportation, how the people in the industry keep them. They need to have like a 2 temperature cold rooms for the tropical flowers like anthuriums, orchids, or roses in a different temperature. So this is the way how we promoting them for the people to see that hey, we have a different color that is not common or commercially. So this is another presentation, another photo. The guy on the left hand is Bangkok mayor with the suit. The third person is the son, graduation like 2 years ago. So in Seattle, in the US, in the mainland. What I'm trying to say is that in US they have the culture like a guy during the graduation. So this is also they're using the orchids to do it. So we're using the single blooms to make it garlands like 52 inches around the neck. And then most of the supermarket in California or in Hawaii, they're using for that graduation seasons for a 6-week period. And then on the left side is like a high school graduation. So it just become like a culture. That's all. This is another way that we do it. On the left side, you can see the variety of the orchid or the color is a bit different. It's not the new variety, it's the same variety. We just dye them to have a different presentation. They look very good in the bloom color. Like if you graduate from the UCLA, you may need certain color. If you graduate from UC Berkeley, you may need certain color. So it's just the simple. So they start using from the high school to the university graduate. And then the cost is like $10, $15, $20, $30 for one time. It looks great with the photo shooting. So this is domestic sales. Our company, we also doing the hypermarket. We also collaborate with certain brand names. Like this one is Uniqlo. We selling the flowers in a fashion store. As an event, some of the fashion store like H&M, they sell the flower now. So flower is I think the brand they try to look more younger with the customer, because in Thailand, by average, younger people they buying more flowers. My generation, they buy flower only religious day for my generation. But for my daughter or younger than that, they're buying small bouquet. Yeah. This is another like a beauty store. They selling the cosmetic. So they also selling the flower during the 2 weeks time during the Valentine's. They just try to make the event. That's all. As I told you that flower is become the culture for the villagers. So we're using like a bunch of the bouquet for the orchids to the temple, and then every house they also buying a bunch of the orchid. Basically, we buying like a too much of the orchid to put to worship the Buddha. So when we go to the temple, we make some donation, get some flower, or we bring the flower to the temple to worship. So that is the culture thing for the domestic sales here. And then this is what we do. Last 12 years, there's not much of the orchid in a shopping mall or in a supermarket. So we one of the leading company that doing sell the flowers. We don't sell only orchids. We sell all the import flowers with the orchids into the supermarket. So now we may have like a 300-400 location. It's just big or small. We even sell flower in a 7-Eleven. We sell flower in a family mart. Not all the location. Certain location, maybe 50 location of the 7-Eleven, 60 location of the family mart. So basically, it's 90% of my location is in Bangkok. So like for example, this week, we're gonna have the Valentine's. So it's gonna be the big week to using the flowers. We also do import flowers to do the wholesale as well. So that is. And then since 40 years ago, we always supporting the family farm. Even now, we have our own farms, but we still buying from the contact farm. Most of the contact farm is family-owned farm. The orchid business, orchid farmer is a bit strange, meaning father do, son or their children do, or brother do, sister do. It's always about the same family names. So if the brother do it successfully, they introduce to another one in the relative they do it. There are very few people who is never be in the industry and then start jumping to be the farmer. So it's basically can say like a closed society. So after this, we're gonna talk about some number about overall orchid industry. So on your left hand is cut flowers. On the right hand is a pot plants. On the left hand, since start year 2000s, like after COVID. So this is a number of the right, 17,000 right, and then you can see like 2024. The number of the growing area is decreasing a bit. And then yield is also decreasing. Average also decreasing. Pricing also decreasing. I tell you why. Year 2000, 2022 is a 4 baht per stem. Now it's like a 2 baht. 33 stem. 2 baht 33 stan. So basically, during 22 is very, how to say, very good year in terms of, but now average like 2 baht also not bad number. People in the industry can survive with that number. So on the right hand is significant decreasing because of the number of the grower. They stop growing. You mean after somebody, during the COVID, everyone they need plants, but after COVID, nobody want plants. So the number they don't lie. So this is area that we are growing the orchids. Mostly we growing orchid nearby Bangkok. It's only 5 states, like Bangkok, Nakhon Pathom, Samut Prakan, Ratchaburi, and then Kanchanaburi. Those is nearby Bangkok, including Bangkok. And then this on the right hand is the third, how to say, yield over the year. You can see that the April and May is low yield in terms of the production cut flowers. On the right is October, November is high yield. But this number is changing. I think since last 2 years it changes because in Thailand we have the COVID during January or February, and then for the low yield, like last year or last 2 years, we have 4 months low supply. So basically it's only 2 months low supply, but now we are facing like a 4 month low supply because of the COVID come. The temperature dropped down like 10 or something, so the plant just stop giving the flowers. And this one is the market from year 22 to 24, but 24 is from January to September. I want to update to now, but we don't have information after September to December. So we don't look into the year 2024, we just look into 22 and 23. So you see the cut flowers in terms of the for the cut of kids flowers, the volume 17,000. And then 23 is 17,900 is increasing. So those are just some number that can show the reflect the market. I think this sheet is reflecting on the previous sheet with the growing area. And then talking about the export orchids. So I think the country that we export mostly is US. It used to be US, Japan, EU country, but now we are changing. I think in the last 3 years, we are changing from the US market to be Vietnam, Japan, and China. Vietnam and China is very similar market to the US or Japan or to EU country. I tell you why. Vietnam market and then China market is a bit very similar. They go with the pricing. Whenever we have a low price, they buy more. But US market, they go with the quality. Japan market go with the quality. Italy market or EU, they go with the quality. So it's a bit different segment of the quality terms and price per stem. This information about year 24, I think I would not rely on it because the information is only September. So it's not full year. We cannot identify it's decreasing or anything. It just update information. But we can see that the country exporting mostly the first 5 countries. This is the information. Okay, challenge of the industry. So I think everyone may know all the country may facing the same problems. Like at the farm level, we have the older generation. Mostly the farmer in Thailand for orchid is like 55 years old. So it's a bit like a growing older and older second generation. They have a very good high education. They become doctor, they become engineer, they become educated. They have a master degree. They don't do the farm. And then second thing is that who's gonna do the farm? The farmer they hire, I think 95% is a foreign worker who do the farming. Basically, it's like a worker. One owner, like for myself, the worker in the farm, all foreigner, no Thai people. So that is, if we are talking about like if you are the owner of the farm that operates like 100 rai, 200 rai, or 400 rai, mostly 99% is a foreign worker. Basically, it's either from Burma or from Laos. And then we are catching up with the minimum wage. Like now we are paying like 370 baht per day. And some of the supervisors, they need to be like a bit more. I think we are challenging with the wages. Because, for the orchids, we don't have the automation. Everything in the morning, we're using the labor to cut the flowers, collecting the flower, making the bunch. That is not machinery, it's the labor. And then spraying the chemical fertilizer. We spray every 4 days, fertilizer. Herbicide, some of the farms spray every 4 days, some of the farms spray every 5 days. So, labor intensive a bit. And then growing condition, climate sensitivity, plant adapt harder, this is true. I give you an example. We have the orchid in the white color dendrobiums. Normally we can grow like at 6 or 7 years old. And then we change them. But nowadays, since we have started to have the COVID and then very hot temperature, like last year during the March, we have I think it's like turning 40 plus. That's why last year we have a low production for 4 months. We have a COVID, we have a high temperature during the March. Normally the high temperature they would come like during the April. So this is thing graphing with the temperature is start to be a bit funny. So this is one of the challenges that is seriously that make the production is unpredictable. And then we have the water quality issue. We have a salty water because of during the summertime. Most of the orchid growers, they rely on the canal water resource for the canal. They don't have their own resource. We don't make the recycled water. So meaning like we don't treat the water and then come to reuse again. So we always rely on the canal water. So this is one of the things that is going to be challenging. And then technology is the greenhouse automation. Greenhouse, we are not looking very fancy greenhouse because of the cost per stem. It's not Phalaenopsis that we can grow it. We are talking about what? 10 cents? 3 baht is 10 cents. So if we investing into the very fancy greenhouse, the farmer, they're not going to make it. So we are, why put the greenhouse there? because during the raining seasons, we have a heavy rain. It's not normal. When the rain starts to come, like a 7-day non-stop, it will make damage flowers in the farms. So greenhouse, what I mean is plastic shading, but it will trade off with the heat inside, the temperature increase inside. That is, we need to work it out. And then automation, meaning like in terms of the labor, in terms of the spray chemical, spray fertilizer, or even pesticide. And then, for the certification, we have a CSDDD, so that is going to implement in the next 2 years in the EU country. So Thailand is not, I don't know if it's ready or not, but it's going to be another challenge that we need to implement. So, and then export logistics is a high freight cost. Everyone knows that since COVID, the air freight come down, logistic costs come down, but not as before. Before, when we are doing the shipment to the destination, 30%, 35% is the air freight cost. But now it's 50%, 48% to 55% is the air freight cost. So basically, half of the production, half of the cost is the air freight. So the money do not come to the farmer, they go to somewhere else with a high price for the customer. Market demand on this topic, or the customer, or the flower shop, or the wholesale. Do you have the new variety? Do you have the new color? Every time when we communicate with the customer, everyone asking the same thing. So this is very challenging. Okay, this is should be my final sheet. Thank you very much.